Have you ever made a sacrifice in order to help others or make them happy? In the story you're about to read, a young couple have to decide what each is willing to do to show love for the other. Hi and welcome back. On today's video, I'm gonna give you an introduction to the short story, The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. The lesson's objectives are literary analysis. We're going to study the types of irony in literature. Reading strategy. Predict. Introduction to the short story The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. Literary analysis, irony, is a contrast between what is expected to happen and what actually occurs. There are three types of irony commonly used in literature: situational irony, verbal irony, and dramatic irony. Let's analyze each one. Situational irony. When a character or the reader expects one thing to happen, but something else happens instead. Example: a pilot has a fear of heights. This situation is ironic because airplane pilots spend most of their time at work high in the air. Verbal irony. When what is said is the opposite of what is meant. For example, in Beauty and the Beast, Belle tells Gaston, "I just don't deserve you," when in reality, Gaston doesn't deserve Belle. Dramatic irony. When what a character knows contrasts with what the audience knows. Example, a woman thinks her boyfriend is acting strangely because he's about to propose, but the audience knows that he's planning to run away with another woman, intensifying emotions. O. Henry is well known for writing stories in which situational irony results in surprising plot twists. As you read The Gift of the Magi, be ready for the unexpected. Reading strategy. Predict. If a story is well written, it will keep you wondering what happens next. You may ask yourself questions and find yourself predicting possible answers. In this story, for example, what can you predict from the title? As you read The Gift of the Magi, jot down 2 or 3 predictions. Then see whether you were right or whether O. Henry managed to surprise you. The Gift of the Magi. The story tells of a young husband and wife and how they deal with the challenge of buying secret Christmas gifts for each other with very little money. As a sentimental story with a moral lesson about gift giving, it has been popular for adaptations, especially for Christmas presentations. The characters. Della Dillingham Young is a young housewife. Though Della and her husband Jim are poor, Della still wants to buy him a nice gift, so she has to sacrifice something very important in order to earn some money. Jim Dillingham Young is Della's husband, who bears the burden of supporting himself and his wife on a meager income. He has to sell something very important for him in order to afford a set of beautiful combs for Della. The setting. The story takes place in New York during the Christmas holiday season. Della and Jim, the couple who are the main characters in the short story, live in a tiny but well-kept apartment. It is sparsely furnished due to the couple's meager income. One also gets an idea that the apartment is a little cool since the weather in New York is often cold at that time. From the setting, the reader gets an idea that Della and Jim are industrious people who just happen to be poor. One gets this idea from the statement that the apartment was tidy. The author, using the pen name O. Henry William Sidney Porter, wrote hundreds of short stories. In some ways, his own life reflected the twists and turns of his stories. Born in Greensboro, North Carolina, and raised by his grandmother and aunt after his mother's death, Porter left school at age 15 to work in a drugstore. At age 20, he moved to Texas and worked on a ranch. After he married and had a child, he went to work as a bank clerk. Then, after leaving his position, he was accused of stealing bank funds. Porter fled to Central America to avoid trial. When he returned to visit his dying wife, he was arrested, convicted, and imprisoned for 3 years. He always maintained his innocence. Porter refined his short story style while serving time in prison. By the time of his release, he was already selling stories to magazines. Today, the most renowned annual collection of New American short stories bear his pen name, the O. Henry Awards. Now, with all this information, I hope you enjoy reading The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. I hope you found this video interesting. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, bye!